So, first and foremost, I just want to thank you
Oh, it's my pleasure.
for
Yeah.
giving me your time. Giving some
Oh,
nobody wop from Kenosha your
hey,
time, man.
that's fine. I don't mind. I love coming back to Wisconsin. No, I'm glad to come back to Wisconsin just because I love it here. I grew up here. I grew up in Madison, so
Right. This
coming
is.
back is great.
He said this is your fourth time. This is the second time I knew that you were doing a gig here, but you've done a set here four times.
I guess so. Yeah.
So,
Sometimes life goes fast, but I do think so. Yeah.
so have you? Is that the only four times you've been in Kenosha, or have you been in Kenosha like a lot?
Oh, no, I used to sell asphalt back in the day, with my father's asphalt company. And we would come here to the highway department and sell them asphalt.
Okay.
Basically play euchre and drink beer on here.
There you go.
But I do love the highway committee here in Kenosha. I got to know them pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah, this is back in the early 90s. So that's where I did. And I also went to Marquette, so I knew some people from Kenosha. Kim Heller, I think her dad's a doctor here, and they all went to Marquette, and yeah. So I've known a few people. Bill Lamaki runs a travel agency
Oh,
around here.
that's. I think that's Brett's dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I worked with Brett.
Lamakia travel agency.
Yeah.
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 Bill was in my class.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so I know a few people from Kenosha. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I've noticed. Like, I haven't really been really far east or west, but I've been from, the upper P all the way down to the bottom, Port St. Lucie, Florida. You run into people everywhere. It
Yeah.
seems there really is a small world.
Sure is. Yeah.
So, what was your very first gig?
Stand up wise?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I guess first off, was that the first thing that you dabbled in, the stand up?
no.
Or did you do the acting
No,
first?
when I first started after I sold asphalt, I went down to Second City and I got involved with their theater program down there. And I was doing a lot of sketch and I was doing a lot of improvisation. I was there with Tina Fey and all those guys and Amy Poehler and Rachel Sands. And I wasn't with them, but I was down there at the time doing improv. And then I moved to Los Angeles to do mostly acting and improv too. But I did acting for, comedic acting for a long time until like 2012 or 11 when I started to do stand up.
What do you like more? Actually, and because you're a
Yeah.
writer too, what do you enjoy more? Do you more enjoy writing, stand up, or just acting? Just
Yeah.
give me the lines.
I think because I'm so lazy, or maybe it's just easier for me, but I do think that the most work is directing because I've directed a few. That's just a ton of work. And then writing is obviously just a drain, and so writing is just real hard labor. And then I think I like improvisation just because of the collaboration of it all.
Oh, for sure.
And then stand up probably after that. But I kind of like stand up just as much now, just because I've done more now stand up than I have anything else. And acting I do love too. Probably I don't act as much as I used to, but yeah,
So, you brought up the pandemic. How was it navigating through that?
tough because most things were closed down.
And it's not
Places.
like you were out doing stand-up gigs because you couldn't, right?
No, I mean everything was shut down. So yeah, it was tough. That was a real changer for me. I didn't know where to go, and I didn't know where there was no acting, no performing. So it was a difficult time.
That was when the explosion of podcasts happened. 'Cause
Uh and
everybody, yeah,
I should have
everybody
jumped on that bandwagon. I never did.
Yeah, well, it's like two mix and a wop. We jump on everything a day late and a dollar short, and then,
Yeah,
when nobody gives a shit. But so tell me about. I gotta ask about Together. How
yeah,
how
yeah.
did that come about? Did you actually sing with them?
Uh-huh.
Like, do you still sing?
I like to in the shower, but I think I have a voice that's sort of. There's some songs I can sing, and then some I can't. You know, I have to be very limited in my song selection, but I can carry a tune, you know, but not as well. Not a real. I don't have a lot of vocal range, no, but I do love to sing, and I think when I got that job, I was the worst singer in that group. Everyone else had a great voice, and I was the worst one. But they liked me for my comedic. I had a lot of comedic chops.
Yeah, for
So
sure, for sure.
those guys had more singing chops. I had a little more comedic chops. So when the movie was shooting, they really didn't know how to do any comedy acting or comedy anything. So they had to learn on that. But when they did the songs, those guys were good. I mean, they were very good, and they had good voices, and they had good choreography and everything else like that. So it ended up being a real fun project. A lot of during the time, everyone thought that we were real, but we were a joke band.
Yeah,
And then
for sure.
these little girls that were our primary fans, you know, they thought we were a real band. That got kind
Right,
of
say it,
scary.
don't spray it on their white t-shirts.
Say it, don't spray it. Yeah,
Oh, that's
rub one
great.
out.
When Kevin Farley's done with his stand-up and he goes back to his hotel or his house, what music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of 70s, a lot of 80s, you know, rock and roll.
Classic rock. Can't go
Classic
wrong with that.
No. And you know, I'm
Absolutely.
getting kind of sick of it though. I don't know what else to do. I listen to bluegrass, a lot of bluegrass.
Yeah.
I love the bluegrass stuff because I go to this bluegrass festival up in northern New York called the Gray Fox, and I go there every year, and I love it. I love all that.
So what music do you not like? I mean, you just... oh,
I can't get into you know, some of the hip hop stuff. I can't get into that. I can't get into the rap. I just can't. Some of the old school stuff, yeah, but not.
yeah,
I don't know.
stuff nowadays is pretty rough.
It's tough, yeah.
Uh,
My little stepson listens to it, but I can't do it.
Well, speaking of the climate, how is it being a stand-up comedian nowadays when everybody's so sensitive and so, you know, do you feel like when you're writing a stand-up, you'll be like, oh, I better watch what I say because I don't want to offend this group or this side or that side, or do you just let it go?
I let it go because I feel like they're gonna come get you if they want you anyway. You know but I don't try to worry about that just because I think that it's hard to avoid. I mean, if they want you, they're gonna get you. You know, so I don't think you even have to be necessarily. Well, certainly you don't have to be guilty. They're just gonna try to get you, try to knock you down. There's a million ways to get you these days. So
Ain't that the truth?
yeah, but there's I think what's coming now is they're starting to see that a lot of it is fake. and a
Well,
lot
yeah, I
of it
feel like
is-
everything is lightening up now. But I feel like for a long
When you
time
see
that
someone
stand-up comedians were
accused-
scared. Like
Yeah.
I could see like people were holding back. You know what I mean?
well, they don't want to lose their jobs, but then it starts to say like, oh, so wait, this is fake, and that was fake, this was fake, everything was fake. Some of it's real, some of it's fake, and we're starting to learn and discern what's fake and what's not fake. But it's hard on the internet. It's very difficult to know, especially with AI, what's fake and what's not. What's a made up story, what's not a made up story.
That was another thing I wanted to ask you about. What are your feelings on all this AI stuff?
It's tough. Well, we're as actors and writers, we're going through a strike right now. We've got to figure out.
It's been going on for a minute too, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to try to figure out like what the future holds with that. I think it's smart to get on it now
Yeah,
before it gets to be. I think that thing AI is learning at a
it's scary.
exponential rate. So we better get on it now and understand that you need to compensate someone whose image you have and whose writing you have and whose that kind of thing. You have to compensate them fairly,
Yeah.
without using their image over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite project that you were a part of?
Probably together, back then, with that musical group. Or I did a show on CMT that I really enjoyed with Billy Ray Cyrus called "Still the King," which I enjoyed a tremendous amount. It was short lived, but I really had a good time on that show. They were fun, yeah.
Is there anybody that you came across that you were like, oh shit, man, I'm kind of nervous about fucking working with this guy?
Oh, plenty. I think a long time ago I did a movie called American Carol, which was directed by David Zucker, who I love Airplane, and he did all the airplanes and the Naked Guns, and I was a bit intimidated by that, and getting to work with him as well as Larry David, because I did a Curb Your Enthusiasm, so I was very intimidated working with those guys, And if you're not intimidated working with those guys, I don't know, you're not living,
Not human, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, Larry David, for a long time, was the king of sitcoms.
He is. He
Still
is.
kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
F is for Family. How was that?
That's another one I love. I should have mentioned that, but that's a friend of mine, Bill Burr's show.
Love Bill Burr. Big fan of Bill Burr.
Yeah, and we had a good run on that for 5 years. There were some lines in there that I've never ever believed that I would ever say on television.
Well, and that's the thing. Like Bill Burr said it best. Like I was in one of his interviews. He's like, "You do things with animation, you can get away with a lot more,
Tons.
for sure,
Tons.
for sure."
I was shocked at what we could get away with.
Isn't
on
it
that.
strange?
I was shocked.
You just turn something into a cartoon, and everything just kind of goes away. It becomes funny, like it's supposed to intentionally be.
Yeah.
It doesn't get picked apart, or it's.
Just because he was a cartoon. Fuck, I'm sorry, I'm so late. Yeah, this is a cartoon.
No worries. So, how did you get into the music video career? Lifehouse, Rascal Flatts, Nickelback?
Well, that was a connection with Nigel Dick, who directed Together, and Nigel was also a really good video guy. He had won a lot of MTV Video Awards. He did Britney Spears. He did Guns N' Roses. And then, he was always making these videos, and he'd say, hey, do you want to be in a Lifehouse video? I'd be like, yeah, sure. Hey, do you want to be in a Nickelback video? I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever you want me to do, Nigel. So I would come down in the afternoon and shoot this thing, And then now I'm on a bunch of these videos, But I got to know Nigel really well. I haven't seen him in a while, God bless him, but I love that guy. He's a very talented director and talented music
Yeah,
director.
they're good videos. And love them or hate them, all three of those bands were all huge. At one time or another.
Huge.
So Hollywood and Wine. Was that the first movie that you wrote and directed?
That was, yes, that was, I had written that with my friend Matt Berman, and we decided to direct it together, and I got a bunch of people in that, It was fun. That was another really good project, but it was one of those where I learned directing is very difficult. Directing is very hard. Writing is very hard. But I was proud of that movie. I'm proud of what we did with that movie, and I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Now, when you're writing, do you find it easier when you're writing by yourself or when you're writing with a team or someone else?
Just by myself. Just because I like to just get it all on paper and then worry about it later.
Make adjustments here and there.
Yeah,
Some things need to be changed. So then obviously you're not, if you write a story, you're not opposed to if someone says, well, hey, let's, try and switch this up. It'll be a little fun.
As long as you do it after I'm done with my...
Right.
Whatever. I
the
usually
whole thing.
get chunks of ideas, and then I'm like, I need to write that down. So I'll get it out of my head, and then let me get it out of my head, and then we can go over it later. I don't mind that. But as long as I get the idea off into the paper, then we can work with it later. Yeah. I don't work well on the go, because then I'll lose my idea.
I'm looking forward to watching Grumpy Old Santa. I'm
Yeah.
a Halloween kid, but So that means I'm not watching any Christmas movies until after.
I don't blame you.
So
I don't know why they released it. You know, Jay called me the other day, said they released it on Amazon. I'm like, that's early.
yeah, I thought that was strange too. You'd think they would have held off for a couple.
I think
more
it has
months,
a
but-
lot to do with the strike. They don't have a lot of content right now.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That
So,
makes
you
sense.
know, they're kind of low on movies right now. So why not release a Grumpy Old Santa?
Can you tell me anything about Fallen Cards?
I don't know where that project is because I did it and then
That one says because well, there was two projects I wanted to ask you about, and that one says if you look it up on IMDb, it says complete post production.
yeah, well, sometimes movies get kind of hung up because you have the movie to shoot and then you have the money to post.
Yeah,
So-
and I saw something Harlan Williams was talking about too, that that some places will just hold on to a script forever,
Ever.
or even footage. Even they'll just have it and it'll just
Yeah,
be
they'll
there.
hold on to it. Yeah, so it's weird, you know. Unfortunately, some projects get stuck in the whole process.
Did you shoot that already?
I shot some of it, but I'm not sure where that footage is.
Which
know.
leads me to the next one, which I'm crossing my fingers, but I have a feeling I know the answer to this. You were shooting or shot, or did you shoot with the late Gilbert Gottfried, Hassel in the Castle?
You know what? That's another one that never got off the ground.
No?
No, I think we were in planning procedure, but never got off the ground.
Oh,
We
that's...
never got financing for that one. That would have been fun.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, man, I hope that there's some footage or it was already
Ah,
shot
I
or
wish.
something.
I would have
but-
loved to work with him.
Yeah, for sure, for
God
sure.
rest his soul.
Well, I think that's about it. I'm gonna hit you with a bunch of this or that's.
Okay.
On the way out. So,
Yeah.
burgers or pizza?
Pizza.
So now, New York or Chicago pizza?
Chicago.
There it is. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
BK or Mickey D's?
Mickey D's.
I'm a Burger King guy myself.
Yeah.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Absolutely. There's no other answer to that,
Oh.
right? Anybody who says Pepsi's got something wrong in their brain.
Definitely.
Windows or Mac?
Mac.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
I'm an Android guy. But I spend all the money to get the Android that's just like the iPhone. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, what do you say? Now, you a sports guy?
Yeah.
Are you a football guy?
Yeah.
Are you a Packer guy?
Yeah.
Born and raised, right? So, Rodgers or Favre?
Favre.
Absolutely. There's no question about it.
Yeah. Even though I like Aaron Rodgers, I like them both. I just love Brett Favre.
Played for the Jets. Though.
Yeah, he
both
did. He did.
Well,
Did they both?
well, they both played, but Rodgers was just gone in 60 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this might be family influence, but Ford or Chevy?
Well, Ford, yeah. Have to. My cousin would be killing me. If I didn't.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that real quick. Is your cousin? Do you guys have the same grandfather?
Yeah.
So, did you know your? I mean,
Yeah, growing
'cause
up, sure.
Some people, you know, they didn't meet their grandparents or whatever.
No, we would go. Yeah, they would come to Madison a lot. They lived out in New York. And they'd come to see Grandma and Grandpa out here.
So I'm a huge fan of just like cool history and family and shit. And to know that, like, how does it make you feel to know like your great grandpa like worked with Henry Ford?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of fucking cool.
Well, no, that's his mom's side. That's Jimmy's mom's side.
Oh, okay.
That's the Tracy. His mom's main name was Tracy, and that's the Tracy side of the family. The Farley side of the family is my grandpa, who started Scott Joel, the asphalt company that I worked for. So that's asphalt, and his other side is the Ford side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Still a pretty cool history.
Yep, pretty cool.
All right. Sandals or Crocs?
Sandals. You got Crocs on right
I
now.
know. All right. I got to tell you, full disclosure, listeners, lurkers, peeling the curtain back. I was freaking out. All right. I like to take myself seriously. I like to take this seriously, and I didn't want you to think that I'm some schmuck. I wanted to ask you nice questions. I
Yeah.
wanted to have a nice interview, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to fucking look nice. Well,
You got
these are
your
not
best
the-
Crocs on.
These are not the pants.
You wore your best Crocs.
My shoes are sitting right by the door.
Yeah.
I'm running around in my Crocs. My pants are in the dryer. These aren't the pants I wanted. I wear my nice
Yeah.
pants. They're in
Yeah.
the dryer.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
shoes are right by the door. It's too mixing a lot.
Well,
It's a
what are
lot
you
for
gonna do? It's
But,
all right.
Yeah. So,
Listen, it's okay.
yeah. I personally.
You know what? Those aren't bad.
You know why I like them?
Because you
I don't
barely
like looking
see
at
'em.
people's fucking feet. Who likes
Right.
to look at fucking feet?
I don't
you know
like
what I
looking
mean?
at toes.
Well, he likes to look. Right makes weird.
Well, he's a foot guy.
Yeah, he is. Happy Gilmore or Caddyshack?
Ooh, wow. Well, I gotta say Caddyshack, just even though I love Adam, but that's what I grew up on. Only
Yeah,
thing I grew up
absolutely.
on,
Me too. I'm a big Caddyshack guy. And
Yeah.
you know what? It's funny because Caddyshack 2, people are like 50-50 about it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason's all right. You know what I
Right,
mean? What's the Fonzie
exactly.
doing? Someone who farts in the bathtub bites the bubbles. This is one of my favorite lines. No,
I love that Gleason was in that, and he was in Caddyshack too.
he was the main guy.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't watch Caddyshack too.
What?
No.
Oh, you got to take it for a spin. It's pretty good. It is pretty
Yeah,
good.
I should
And that's
check
the
it
thing. I think a lot of people wrote it off because it wasn't all the
Well,
guys.
I think that Chevy Chase kind of poo-pooed it when he was in it. He didn't like doing it. So I'm like, well, if he didn't like doing it, I'm not going to watch it.
his spot in there was pretty funny. But that one guy, Quaid,
Randy Quaid.
yeah,
He did Bill Murray's part, right? Yeah, or something.
yeah. He was the no. Aykroyd did. Aykroyd was the gopher hunter.
Oh, was he?
Randy Quaid was like this angry, crazy. He was Jackie Gleason's angry, crazy lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was. It's an alright movie.
I gotta
Especially
check
you're
it out.
you're an old school guy.
I love those movies.
Watch it.
Yeah.
You're missing out. You're definitely missing out.
Caddyshack too.
Halloween or Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah.
And I believe our last one is Frankenstein or the Mummy.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Mick is a mummy guy, and
He's a mummy guy.
that gets a bad rap. Yeah, that's what they
It's
say.
a bad rap.
Ta-da.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you so much for
Thank you guys. Yeah.